There it is. G'day, peoples, you mob, humans, non-humans, crocodiles, and all those other creatures of the earth observing this stuff today. It's been quite a hectic morning because I slept in, so everything was a rush once my blood was caffeinated. And of course, once I'd done a couple of crosswords, you've got to get those crosswords out the way, isn't it? Yes, first cab off the rank today. G'day, mate. Welcome. As per is the thing, big bucket of kudos out in the post to you, lad. Well done. Michael Toes. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Michael. Welcome. Good to see you. Muddy Boots, how's it going? Welcome also. BJ Palmer, hello there. Casval. Definitely early 2000s music. But yeah, I'm unfamiliar with the dramas. We've had some crazy weather and blackout or power outage, whatever you want to call it, last night. Middle of the night. Yeah, it's quite chilly and windy, as you can tell by the flanny and the beanie and stuff. But yes, Casval, the recent set of 15 years definitely has occurred. And yeah, BJ, parts of the last 15 have achieved epic levels of suckage. That's a good term. I like that, BJ. Epic levels of suckage. Refreshing often does work. Aquamain, how are you? Welcome. I believe that's 3 new names in today, is it? Well done. Welcome. Stay a while. Stay forever. Who can tell me what ancient computer game that's from? Hey, 503 Shana or Shana. Might have to get some pronunciation on your first name. Bugger it, I'll just keep calling you 503. That'll do. Or I'll just sing Shana-na-na-na. When was it? I was trying to work that out. I don't know if it was on my stream last week or someone else's stream. It was the Kaiser Chiefs. Sings that song. I hope I've got that right. I'm pretty sure I've got that right. Conversation point. I just was reading an article. Well, not really an article. More of a opinion piece, I guess you'd call it. Shoes off or on in your house, and why? Just thought I'd put that out there for everyone to mull upon and ponder, and maybe we'll come to a solution.
2 hours later.
Or so. Actually, we might not go that long today. That seems awfully a long time when you say it out loud. Only cool small cichlids I've got, Casval, are got a couple of juvenile rivulatus and a juvenile feste, but yeah, not naturally small species. I wouldn't mind delving into a couple, but I'm at my pretty much at my tank limit at the moment, and I still want to do some rearranging. Get the big fish out of the one behind me here, get my prawns and some plants going again in the big tank. Short-term goals, which will probably turn out to be long-term goals. I'm very, very good at procrastinating. G'day, Jess. How's it going? I've got a blockage in my sinuses. Hang on. I don't want to offend because it's going to be gross. All right, hopefully mute worked then. That was quite hideous. As long as they're not muddy, right, good. On or off because I'm chill. It doesn't surprise me, 503. I believe you would be very chill about it. Unless, of course, some units walk to your front door covered in manure or mud or one of those other gross M words, Michael. Oh, sorry, Michael. No offense, but my name is also Michael. It was self-deprecation, not teasing anyone else. Anyway, yeah, weather. It's cold. Our 7 or 8 days of winter might have actually started. Yeah, good point. There's always the hose. You know, in the story that I was reading, it was a boy talking about himself growing up and the rules in his house regarding feet, and he would say that if him and his friends had been playing outside barefoot and then tried to go into the house, his mother would make the other kids go home and wash their feet and then come back with shoes on and take their shoes off at the front door. Because, some people consider running around in bare feet quite disgusting. I do it all the time until it gets too cold. But even now, if I go to the shops, I'm going barefoot. Sure I am. One off, that way I am ahead of... right, I see. Forward thinking, planning ahead, Michael. Crikey, Casval, that would, if we did that, it'd be like that, it was a Josh meme, wasn't it? All of the Joshes. It became a thing, didn't it? Where they sapped it though, and let some kid win, didn't they? I don't think it was fights to the death though. But it was good concept. Good concept. I like it. G'day, Lonnie. How's it going? 110 pounds of fury. Terry, how's it going, Terry? Triple T, Terry. No shirt, no shoes, no service. If I go out to eat or something, I'll probably have shoes on. But if I'm just going to the supermarket for a couple of things or to the post office to send a letter, that's not a shoe-worthy situation. But what I am understanding is that bare feet is quite a trigger for a lot of people, isn't it? A lot of people consider it to be incredibly hideous and a very, very disgusting part of the body. But, I consider my bottom a little bit more disgusting, and when I go out in public, I definitely wear pants. I double check and sometimes triple check to make sure I've got pants on when I walk out the door. In the summer, it can be hard to remember. Yeah. G'day, Chewy. Nice. Tok. Is that supposed to be Tok, as in the chef's hat? Or is that a French spell? Actually, Tok is a French word. Surely the French don't have alternate spellings for their own words. I'll just call it a beanie. It was the first one I grabbed because I was sitting down in just shirt, and then my nose started to run and I started thinking, I'm very cold all of a sudden. So I threw a beanie on and then it didn't cut it, so I had to go and dig the flanny out as well and chuck the flanny on. But yeah, the Josh fight was gloriously civil. I actually didn't. I had no idea about that. Obviously, I've got a son called Josh, but I still was unaware of that going on. And regular viewers who are familiar with the Beast was Z Beast. His name's Josh also, and he was filling me in on it not too long back. Yeah, I know you're not Chewy, Lonnie, but Lunatic Fringe is Chewy, love. He's in there as well. But yes, I know. Yes, I know. Often Chewy does also use the Looney Tunes moniker when he's on streams and whatnot. Strange noises. 1 + 1 = window, doesn't it? Classic schoolyard comedy. Got a man. Sarah went and did a thing yesterday, but I'm going to wait till she's here before we get into talking about that. Hang on. And I'm quite happy to burp on mic, but sometimes those clearing of the sinuses with force make rather disgusting noises, isn't it? G'day, Shaddy. What's cracking? Oh, crikey. You're supposed to drink your drinks, not inhale them. Wow. I sure have, Chewy, and they never seem to be brief, do they? We have this seemingly innate ability to slide down a wormhole at a moment's notice. I forgot to do a thing just before, so I'll do that now before I forget. Do that. And bloody telephones. I love them and hate them. Where would we be without the things? Anyway, let's do this.
Scratching my back, bro. Hold on, scratching my back. Keep applauding.
That's why the crowd's cheering, I think. It's a very, very, very loose crowd. They get entertained by the smallest of things.
It's kind of pointy and stabby.
Oh, is that your curvy scissors?
Yeah, got some curvy scissors here. Some of the cheapos. Yeah. I got some cheap ones that sit on my desk as a prop.
Just as an ornament.
Yeah, pretty much, dude.
Yeah, I think I like the curved tweezers. They're the best ones for back scratching. They can get under the shoulder blades and stuff without poking, or scraping you a new hole.
Yeah, I don't know where the curved tweezies are. I don't know where they went. I was previously using this, which is so hold on, I have to move the chat. It's in the way. This thing here, which is actually just a telescoping wall mount for you know. And so I might go back to this because this was a little less exciting. Or this was a little less exciting than the scissors. Oh yeah, but it still feels good. It feels good.
Well, if you're doing it through your clothing with the scissors, you're at risk of tearing your clothing.
Well, I go undershirt, you know.
with the
the
scissors only.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin my clothes. That costs money, dude.
It does, yeah. And
Getting
look at us,
cut.
we're both
Does
in
getting
the
cut cost money? Not really.
Nah.
Nah.
It's a life experience. It's character building.
What's going on there, man? I feel like you got a lumberjack kind of cold weather theme going on today. What's happening? What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I've been chopping down redwoods all morning.
Going big. Just running a full on rig, just going crazy, felling some trees.
No, apparently where I live has just been transmogrified into the Baltic Sea overnight, and it's become very icy. So I think yeah, we're going to experience our 7 or 8 days of winter over the next week, perhaps.
Yeah.
G'day, Tropico. How's it going? Big D, how are you? So yeah, I was just saying before I kicked off. Well, I didn't kick off the stream, but just before the stream, I was only in a t-shirt, and then the chill was getting to me, so I put the beanie on, and then the chill was still getting to me, so I put the flanny on. The flanny, for those who don't know what this is, it's a flanny.
Flannel.
You've all learnt something here today. But yeah,
You just look like you're wearing the Seattle outfit.
The Seattle outfit. Do they still wear it, or are you like referring to Seattle in the early 90s, early to mid 90s?
Oh, everybody's got scraggly, scruffy hair and a beanie on and a shirt. You know, it's pretty typical.
My hair's not scruffy. It's combed. It's beanie combed.
It's long and scruffy. It's long and scruffy. It's fine.
It's me.
It's not a criticism. I mean, if I said it was long and like smelled like ass, then maybe that would be a criticism or something. But I was just saying it's scruffy. Have you been to a professional barber?
No, not for a long time.
Yeah. See, there you go. That's how you know it gets scruffy. If you whack it off with a weed whacker, every once in a blue moon, it shall be categorized as scruffy. A scruffy nerf herder, right?
Yeah, I'll go with that. I don't want to be lumped in with the Seattleians.
Seattleites?
Seattleites. That's a good one. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of like Pacific Northwest, because it's oftentimes it's like it's raining, it's drizzling, and you're just like, I'm gonna wear a beanie.
I'll tell you what does
combing my hair. What's that?
What does make your hair smell like ass is when you put still wet hair into a beanie.
That's definitely a recipe for stank disaster.
Yeah, hence why I think it. And the sun's come out, and it might have warmed up a little bit, so I can probably afford to let the mane fly free now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, Tropico? I had a trim. Look, my beard's like pretty much all gone. I took it all off last week.
Yeah, I feel like you trimmed your beard.
Yeah, I sort of only did mild trimming here, and then when I took all the length off here, then I went, yeah, stuff it. I'll get the small comb on the clippers and just take all those sideburns and crap down as well.
Yeah, take it down. You get skinnier that way, you thin up.
Yeah.
That's a trick to thinning up your face a little bit. You take your hair down.
What's a good blading? Are you suggesting that I shave, Tropico? God.
What, shave?
Heresy. How very dare you? Oh, damn, I did that one on mic. I've been muting those.
Have you?
Yeah. I figure they're it's quite a disgusting sound compared to a burp. I'm quite happy to burp on microphone, but not necessarily those ones.
That was strong. You peaked over here. Oh God.
Yeah, it's a good mic test. Testing the new microphone still.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be functional.
Casval says to me, your substrate video was super helpful. However, it made me realize it's going to cost as much as the tank was to fill it with 3 inches of Eco Complete. It's one of those things that kind of cracks me up that like people are like, aqua soil is so expensive. Like it's way cheaper to do Eco Complete. And I'm like, okay, how much does that cost per bag? They're like $20 per bag. I'm like, how much does like Stratum cost? Like $50 a bag. It's like, okay. How much volume is in each one? I don't know, but this one's 20. It's going to be cheaper. Okay. Got it.
Goodness me, mate. The little horse is going rank.
It sounds like you have a horse in the hospital.
I've got, and they're not mine, but there's a ex-race horse and a miniature horse. And the little miniature horse he's very cute. He's like got a ginger coat and a blonde mane and tail. So he's quite gorgeous. But yeah, maybe actually I can't see the racehorse anywhere. So he might be fretting. He's running now, running through the long grass. I don't think he can find Monty the racehorse. But yeah, he sounds distressed. I'm not familiar with the difference, Chewy, between.
Here's a hot substrate tip for you. If you're looking for crushed lava rock, all you need is lava rock and a hammer.
I gave some of my massive sack of lava rock. I've got a bag of, lava rock pieces about this big, but the bag is, 2.5
gigantic.
feet. Yeah. 2.5 feet by 18 or 20 inches wide. It's a big bag of lava rock. And that's probably I could use some of it for that. That's a great idea. Now, didn't we have didn't you have a very similar conversation on this stream last week with someone about aqua soils and substrates and whatnot?
I don't know.
Or was that on your live stream? Anyway.
Who knows, man? It's happened. That's all I'm saying. I don't have an answer for that other than it's happened. People ask me about substrate for years now. I got so like my ex before Vicky was a geologist. So we just would always get wildly deep in substrate rock conversations all the time. And then we would go on excursions and things. So people have asked me about substrate for a long time because it's something that I've talked about a lot.
Well, I'm assuming that you're probably a fairly good knowledge base on that subject as well.
I mean to a degree, you know what I mean? Like to the point where like I could help people out if they need help, but like I'm not giving a dissertation or anything like that. I'm not going to like spin by the college and be like, "Oh, you kids know nothing." I don't know, It's all pretty, the interesting thing about geology is that they do definitely learn new stuff. But like if you have a solid base understanding, you would do fine. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, oh, this basalt is suddenly like, oh no, now it's like marshmallows. It's not. A lot of that stuff's chilling.
That's good, Casval. Life goals are good. My dog has become interested in the horse's behavior as well. I'm sure it's his empathy kicking in.
See if he can bite a tiny horse.
I think he's he was anticipating the horse making it to the back fence so he could duck out there and bark at it and nip at its heels. And then now he's sitting on the patio looking forlorn because his plaything has vanished into the long grass.
Yeah. I think like if I was a dog, I'd probably chase horses around. That's for damn sure.
Well, It'd probably only take one good solid kick to stop the habit, but I'm sure it's fun until then.
I suppose you're right. I suppose you're probably onto something there.
Because I've watched. I mean, my guy's he's a Jack Russell, so he's only a little dog, but I've watched him out there. G'day Pipex. When both the horses, the racehorse and the miniature horse, are just outside the fence, and he's like, scarpering around their feet and barking and nipping at them, and I've just, the big racehorse stomps on the ground and stuff, and I was just so many times I've been sitting there waiting for the blood spatter of small dog being squashed under hoof.
Oh, for the mayhem.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not as quick as he used to be, but he's obviously still got that innate dodge ability. Gets out of the way quick, smart.
You got to get out of the way. I mean, if a horse is going to stomp on you. Ooh, you know what I saw today? I saw somebody was sharing around a meme about a man and a hippopotamus. And he had adopted a hippopotamus, and then the hippopotamus grew up and, they're like, the hippopotamus ate him, right?
Right.
So then we did some. The people were criticizing it. They're like, "There's no way that the hippopotamus ate him." You're like, "Okay, well." So we go through the fact checking process. Now it turns out the dude is legit a dude. The dude had adopted a hippopotamus, and for some unknown reason, basically became entranced with the hippopotamus. He attributed human characteristics to it. Was like, it's like a human. It's like my child. Like, hey kook, hey kookaloo.
Yeah, first mistake.
And then it turns out, yes, he was in fact murdered by the hippopotamus.
I thought it was a perfect
hippopotamus
perfect
turned to 6, and it murdered him. So the fact checking was that the hippopotamus didn't eat him, which is true, that he was not consumed by the hippopotamus, but he was in fact bitten to death by the hippopotamus. So I'm just calling maybe we need a fact check here, but realistically it's just because he didn't swallow, you know what I mean, doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When you have things in your mouth, and just because you didn't swallow it doesn't mean that you didn't interact with it. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a hippopotamus that's got a human in your mouth, 99.999 times out of 100, the human ends up dead. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And
they got
probably
fat teeth.
That's right.
The hippo probably will get, if it's biting a person in half, it's probably going to get a little bit of human down its neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
The
g'day,
beast.
Sea Beast. How are you,
What's
mate?
up, buddy?
Hey,
Hey,
good to
What's
see you guys.
hey, are we here to talk Sasquatch? Is that what we're doing? Are we squatching? Brock?
Fuck that shit. I think I missed out on some rock talk. What did I miss?
Yeah. Oh, you know the rock talk. Oh, we were just talking about substrates, and my ex was a geologist. Well, she was specifically a volcanologist.
Oh,
And
She
how I
studies
just
this
always used to just talk about substrates all the time, and rocks and all that kind of stuff. And so people still to this day, many years later, ask me hey, should I whatever with my fish tank? And I'm like, just buy some good plant substrate if that's what you're doing. Otherwise, just go get some rocks. Go get some gravel. Stick it in there. What do you got?
a new find called Agni Manatite. It's a tektite. Oh, I'll go back. Sorry, I fucked it up. Put me back. It's
Sorry.
it's a tektite. So it's a glass
Okay.
that's made from an impact crater, and someone reckons that the impact that hit Earth that made all the tektites is in the Bay of Tonkin, wherever that is. But this is a
Ooh,
recent find. This is
I feel-
found under the ocean in the Java Sea. Pretty cool. About
I'm
600
trying to
bucks a
remember
kilo.
where the Bay of Tonkin is. I think that's off Vietnam, right?
Yeah,
Is that right?
maybe.
Yeah.
I've got no
Yeah,
idea.
South China Sea or something, isn't it?
Yeah, South China Sea, Bay of Tonkin. Why is it not on the map? Oh, yeah, it's at Vietnam. Yeah, Gulf of Tonkin, Bay of Tonkin, whatever you want to call it.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it's just off Vietnam there because I remember all the I remember all the vets like, out in the Gulf of Tonkin off of Hanoi, and you're like, chill, bro, chill, calm down.
The
Well,
war's over,
my dad's one of those guys, so I can make at least a little bit of fun of them,
So this, I found this guy who's like the king of tektites on YouTube, Aubrey something or other. He sounds like a ranting lunatic, but he actually knows his shit, and he's got a couple of videos on YouTube.
Hey, man, I got to remind everybody out there in the world that, like, you can be a raving lunatic and still know what's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's
Yeah.
what it takes to send you into raving lunacy.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Knowing
you can be animated. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This guy made a series of videos about his tektite collection, and it was just insane. And I put it up on Facebook, his comments about cleansing crystals and stuff. It was hilarious just to take the piss out of the healing awareness market and all that sort of stuff. People selling crystals that are charged by the moonlight, shit like that. For extra cash. It's all hocus pocus bullshit. But it's nice to have good rocks from the planet Earth. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So this agni-manatite stuff, we were wondering if there was going to be some new stuff a couple of months ago, and we went down to Canberra, and sure enough, some new stuff got found, and they've got to dive for this in the ocean and pull it out of the sea. And it's got a really nice, clear clarity to it, whereas the majority of other tektites are very black.
Right.
So does that mean that you said that it's formed by on impact craters? Does that mean that the impact happened in the ocean back in the day?
Well, yeah, the impact happened. So according to this Aubrey guy, in the Bay of Tonkin, Earth had a collision and it pierced the mantle, and Earth became like a jelly blubber and spouted out and ejected a whole lot of material around the Bay of Tonkin quite catastrophically at one point in Earth's history. And there's all these dumbbells and I've got a bunch of teardrop ones as well from Australia. These tektites, and you can. There's a lot to learn from them. But we're here. We survived. The Earth survived. It's a beautiful thing.
That's the weird thing. We are indeed here, I think. I can't verify one way or another, but I think we're here. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't think pinching yourself's not the most amazing gauge anymore, is it?
Right.
To know if you exist, because
oh my God.
the simulation simulates pinching as well.
I think I'm sorry. I just remembered that today was the first vaccine lottery drawing in Washington.
Oh, did you win?
I don't know. I decided to look it up. The drawing. Oh, it starts at 8. Wait.
As
8 a.m. Oh man,
Yeah.
I would have gotten a phone. I would have gotten a phone call by now.
Can you confirm? Is that a cash prize for people who have had the vaccination? Is that what it means?
Yep, that's exactly what it means.
Nice.
So today there will be one winner of $250,000, and later there will be 3 more drawings of $250,000, and then July 13th, someone's going to win $1 million.
Wow, that's some pretty serious incentive, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that's literally like how. Okay, I understand Australia is very similar to the United States in its demographics, more or less, right?
Mm.
Most people live in a house, have some kind of job. It's, you go to the grocery store. It's not all that bad, right? Some people got some spare time is what I'm saying. Well, the United States, same kind of crazy deal where you got all these kind of kooks running around that, they haven't been run over by a car yet or eaten by a hippo. And they're still just bandying about and like, oh, I don't think I'm going to get a vaccine. I don't trust that. Meanwhile, they're like eating a donut and driving around a huge truck and you just drinking Coca-Cola and stuff all day long, and you're just like, dude, you're afraid of getting vaccinated and this is what you're putting in your body. This is what you got going on. Yeah. It's weird.
Stinky jinkies.
So we literally have to have a lottery now. They're like, we have to give money away to try and get people to go get vaccinated.
Yep.
It's bizarre.
97% of the time, it's the only incentive people want.
Money.
Cash.
Yeah.
Isn't that how wages work? Got to give them some incentive to do the work.
Hi, Sarah.
Food and board just doesn't cut it anymore. They want money on top.
I guess now they need money. You get a free vaccine, but no, now you need to win the lottery. I'm trying to win the regular lottery. I got my lottery ticket today for the regular lottery. Tuesdays are the day that I buy my lottery ticket just out of habit and going to the gas station every Tuesday.
Yeah, I nearly bought one last week, but the prizes, there was no big lottos last week.
Oh, I tell you this much, like if I won $1 million, which is normally like it's not even the jackpot, that's like the lesser jackpot, that'd be a big deal. That's as far as I know, that's life-changing money, as far as I'm concerned. So
look,
I'd be fine with that.
The one that I was going to buy a ticket in was like $6 million or something, which I think is about $7.50 US. But yeah, like you say, it is certainly a life-changing amount. But yeah, it just didn't motivate me enough.
Like I know an older couple that they won the lottery in like 1989 or something like that, but it was like a small, like compared to now, with the 100 millions or whatever it is, it gets up to all the time. It was like relatively small because I think they just did the cash out thing and then they got like $750,000, right? And I was talking to them about it, and they're like, "Oh, well, we didn't really do that much. Like, we just kind of like we fixed up our house, we bought, a new car for each of us, and that was pretty much it. And then they just kind of saved the rest of it."
Yeah.
But it was funny because I was talking with them one day that I was like, it must be weird to have like a for sure safety net monetarily, like for, no matter what happens, like you pretty much are going to be okay. And that's what they were talking about. That was the big change for them. Was they were just like, yeah, you just always have, like your retirement is handled, like it's done. Like it's done way sooner than it needs to be. That kind of stuff. Where you're just like, oh, huh. I'm kind of weird to just like not have to think about that kind of crap. But
then
like,
you've got the other side of that coin as well, where people would get that sort of money and they'd burn through it in 6 months.
Well, there are some people that do that. Yeah, that's true.
It'd probably be a difficult urge to suppress.
Well, yeah.
I got something to show you guys. I got given an artwork last night by a guy called Android Jones. It's a lenticular hologram.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's
got more than two faces in it by the look of it.
Yeah. That's pretty fucking magical.
How do they do that?
How do they do that? Oh, S is here. What's up? That's what I'm talking about. It doesn't feel right when S isn't around.
What happened?
Feels right.
Exploded.
It feels right. I didn't see S earlier, but now it feels right.
Oh, yeah, S was first human in the chat. If I can call you human, S. He was the first one in the chat today, so he's eagerly anticipating his rather large bucket of kudos in the post. Maybe.
Casfold
Oh,
Deacon,
okay.
that artwork is made by an artist called Android Jones.
Android Jones.
Jones, yeah. If you search on YouTube, Android Jones and Closey, they've got a beautiful 40-minute VR experience. I think it's optimized for the Oculus Rift VR goggles, so you can look all around it on the. I don't know how it works, but just on the big screen TV last night. Watched that last night when we got home after getting the artwork, and looked him up on YouTube and found the digital artworks that have a sound track, like musical artists, to go along with the graphics. It's fucking mind-blowing what they're capable of doing, you know?
Yeah, the digital art offers so many variables, doesn't it? So you might as well try and use as many as possible.
Hello.
Hey, Booba!
Hi.
Hey!
Hello.
Say hi. Say hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Say hello, Beast.
Hello,
Hello, Blacky.
Hello, Blacky.
Look at his beard. He's a pirate.
Yeah.
Not going to like that just yet, then.
I've got a lovely box of coconuts. Boodle-doodle-doo. Yeah.
I'm guessing by the sheer glee and happiness on her face that she's not going to be doing the crying that occurred last week.
No, of course not.
She looks a very, very satisfied little human being tonight.
Can you sing a song? What song can you sing?
Little star, how I wonder what you are.
Do you know that one? Sing along with Beast. Oh, no, that's right. We're on a live thing. It won't sync up properly.
You know what, Mama?
I wonder what you are.
You're singing with your hand in your mouth.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, nice.
Say night-night.
Night-night, Bear.
Say thank you.
Say night.
Night, night, Bubba.
Hey, that's my daughter, Olivia. She's world famous. I don't know if you guys know that.
Well, she's known down here, so she's at least known in 2 countries.
2 continents. 2
Worldwide.
worldwide. She's as famous as Akadaka.
That's good. She's a very, very happy little girl this night, which is good to see.
Well, she's generally pretty happy, you know, until something sparks the thunder, you know.
Until Dad says no ice cream before bed.
No ice cream before bed. Don't say ice cream. She knows what ice cream is, dude.
Ooh,
So she
trigger.
should.
You'll,
Nola Jane, hello. How are you?
You'll be Owen. You'll be Owen. You know, she'll be putting you on the list.
That guy owes me ice cream.
He
At 8 o'clock at night.
I'm gonna get it. She'll probably swim over there for it.
I'm going to change us to this format. So
Whoa.
Sarah's head's in there as well.
Hey, Sarah.
Sarah's there. I know everyone saw Sarah turn up, but she's tried to remain very quiet and low key so far.
Very, very sneaky.
Still, even on camera, she seems to be remaining very quiet and low key. So much pressure. But we did a thing yesterday where we drove up to Brisbane. I think Americans pronounce it. We went up to enter a piece of Sarah's art into a I don't know what you call it really, a gallery exhibition / competition / sale.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So we get the potential of 3 different things: artwork being seen by people who haven't seen it yet, potentially winning a competition, and potentially selling a piece of work. How you feeling about it?
Yeah, I feel good. Main thing is getting seen.
Yeah.
Is what it's about for me.
I think that's where I started, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did list them off in the order that I thought you would prefer.
Yeah. So that's good. It's good to be getting stuff out. I've got I'm not really entering it with a vision to, be winning any prizes, but just to be getting myself out there. And I've got a couple that I'm sending off to Melbourne next week.
Cool.
On Monday.
For the same sort of process?
Same sort of thing. It's just I get to post those ones. I don't have to drop them in person, because if I did, they wouldn't be going.
And it's funny too. We went to, we caught up with one of my friends and went and had lunch at a pub, and around the corner is another art gallery that I used to be in the social circle with the guy who owns the art gallery at the pub. We used to have beers together and stuff as a group, and we walk into his art gallery, and the dude working at the art gallery was a dude that I knew, but not the dude who owns the art gallery. Going to the big city and run into someone that bloody small world. So yeah, we were also casing that joint to whether to put on an exhibition there or something as well. They had some really nice spaces.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to doing my own exhibition in the near future if I can afford to.
Yeah,
Nice.
they certainly are not cheap to put on an exhibition, but if you price your artwork at a good enough price and sell a few nice big ones, you can pay for it pretty quick.
But it's like most things, you've got to have money to make money.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So that one catches me up all the time.
Well, let us know if you want to put on a show. I'll donate a case of beer to your exhibition.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. As long as I'm around, because I do travel quite a bit. But
Yeah.
That was the good thing about the gallery that we looked at. They have a bar space, which has a bar as well as gallery display space. And Alex did suggest that it's a good idea to get people liquored up at a art exhibition, so
absolutely
that they can, it loosens the wallet straps or something when they've got a little bit of booze in the guts.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I really liked that little space with the bar in it.
It was quite nice. He said that they do, they've done cabaret shows and stuff in there, and it's maybe 10 foot wide by 15 feet. It's this tiny little space, and the bar takes up 1.5 meters of it at one end.
Okay, well, if it's a bar, I probably wouldn't be able to bring a case of beer to the bar.
Oh no, I think because it's the way they set it up, I think that you can supply your own alcohol and food and stuff as well as whatever they've got at the bar.
Lovely.
And I don't know if that's the place or not. But I do really feel like going to the city is a good thing for me.
Yeah.
Just so
Then
many
just-
more eyeballs.
Yeah, lots more people and lots of different kinds of people. Like lots of the places around here that I look at, and there's, you know, they're looking for, you know, well, it's sort of like people who are going on like Sunday drives and want to look at art galleries, and they like to see, you know, landscape paintings and things like that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time. And I think that the stuff that I do is just like, it's a little bit, you know, it's out of that.
It's nichey.
Yeah, probably. But so yeah, I don't ever know whether I quite fit in or get exposed to the right audience if I do that. You know, some of the places I looked at anyway. Whereas I think I might have that in the city a bit more.
Yeah.
But it's hard not being there, so I don't really know what any of the place. Like I've got to go there and go to them and look at, you know.
Well, that was basically what we did, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
to initiate that process of checking out galleries and stuff. And it's like, it's 2 hours, you know, give or take, drive into Brisbane from here, depending on traffic.
Mhm.
So, you know, we've really got to plan and make it as efficient and worthwhile as possible.
Mm.
But definitely a process that we're going to have to knuckle down and get into.
I've actually got today a couple of the ladies from drawing asked me if I want to come along. They're going to look at a gallery space that a guy's setting up, but they just said the industrial estate. Now I don't know whether it's in Mullum or in Byron.
Okay.
But yeah, they said if I want to go and see about that, maybe.
I assume you got contacts off these ladies.
Well, I got their phone number.
It wasn't Shane's gallery, was it?
I don't. I think that his name was Bo, but I can't
Okay.
be certain.
'Cause
And
Shane, the Space Cowboy, has got a gallery of some pretty eclectic stuff that he started
Okay,
up. He's doing some pretty amazing work and started a gallery for himself. He's on the nose when it comes to making a good thing go, you know.
I thought you meant he smelt.
Oh, no, he likes to deep throat multiple swords. He's got no gag reflex. He's a psycho. Juggles chainsaws, all that kind of crazy stuff.
Oh,
Check out the Space Cowboy on YouTube. You'll see plenty of videos of him doing talent shows and stuff. In Byron Bay in the industrial estate.
I'd definitely be interested, you know, if it's something where he does get other people doing shows and stuff there, because
Yeah, I think he's
certainly the
dead
kind of
keen on.
scene and the kind of crowd,
Yeah, he's
you
dead
know,
keen on
might be
other
more
people.
interested in the kind of weird, creepy shit that I do.
Exactly. That he's right up your alley. I think you'd
Yeah.
fit. You'd be a great fit for Space Cowboy space
Yeah.
because he's a bit of a wild CUNT. He's even deep throated a fluoro tube. You know those gas filled tubes, and then lit it up when it's down his throat, and you can see it light up in his throat. He's a trooper.
Yeah.
I have a strange feeling that I may have seen. Did he used to like get spots on telly or something?
Yep.
Yeah. I might have seen him on Hey It's Saturday or one of those shows back in the day.
Something more recent, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Hey
Saturday,
might have
so-
been a bit of stretch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's more kind of like our age than older, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's generous. Because, you know, I'm pretty old and stuff.
No, I just think he was. I just think I seem to remember that he was around the same age as me.
Yeah, I just Hey Hey was like the first variety type show that would have acts like that on that came to my mind. So
I hit the
that's what I
gong.
said. But
Hit
yeah,
the
I think
gong.
it might have been Rove Live or something like that in the early
Yeah.
2000s. Yeah, that's good to know because we've got to get this
Yeah, it
lady's
is.
artwork out there and get some stuff going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so last night I decided to be a bit nostalgic and look up my old hometown where I grew up in on YouTube and see what people have uploaded about my old hometown of Barrie.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hilarious. Some poor trooper doing a video log with his selfie stick, wandering around my town. Bloody hilarious. He's so silly and ill-informed and couldn't even string a
Ill-informed.
sentence together. And he's walking around the town and it's just a complete piss take, but he's so serious and earnest. I think the poor guy was on the spectrum, you know.
Is
He was a
he a
character.
local or was he just
No,
visiting?
no, I was half expecting a local to walk up to him and go, "What the fuck are you doing?" Just wandering around the town, speculating whether or not there's camping grounds at the showgrounds and all this shit, and just saying the most random stuff, and then admitting that he lost video of something and wasting time talking about how he lost video. It's so stupid. But it had me and Emma in stitches, just laughing our guts up at this
G'day,
silly guy.
Calypso and Monica. How are we? Anything Eric Clapton does is great. I think that's a little bit of an overstatement there, Paddy Shaddy. But, you know, to each his own or her own, as whatever the case may be. It's rare, isn't it, Casval? Super rare.
Well, I'm just chilling and listening, you know, keeping track.
I thought you might have been checking your Dogecoin value or something.
Well, you got to check your Dogecoin on the reg, dude. You got to make sure you're not a millionaire on accident.
How many you got, Corvus?
Of Dogecoin?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't have any Dogecoin. That's silly.
I've got 700.
Doge?
Yeah,
Oh God, you're rich.
no, they're only 33 cents.
Oh my God, yeah, but that's the riches, bro.
I earned them from doing some Google reviews way back when they were.
I think I have like 4 Litecoin. I think.
Nice.
Something like
That's
that.
really cool, Sarah. Has that got metallics in it?
Sarah did big ones at drawing today.
That's beautiful. Is it metallic colors in there, Sarah?
No, not on this one.
No? Okay. I'm just seeing things.
They're
Love
like,
love you.
you never know. I might have put a little bit of gold in it somewhere, but
Okay. Make it go
Yeah,
big screen,
cool.
Blackie.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
good,
little bit.
good thinking.
But this one's got
Oh,
And,
that's
you know, feel free
rad.
to bring it in front of me and stuff
yeah,
to fill the screen. But yeah, there is some gold and stuff down here.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's
It's
awesome.
got the shininess to it.
yeah. I don't know if it does it like justice if you can see all the bits. Not close.
So because you did big, did you only do those two today?
Yeah.
I mean,
A couple of little ones that I was starting. It just took so much longer to do.
I use the term only advisedly because, you know, they still look like pretty fantastic pieces of work.
Oh, that's rad. I love the rabbit.
So that one is gold.
And that's got a lot of gold on it.
Yeah, nice. The golden rabbit.
Oh, that eye looks even better up close than it did from way over there.
Did you guys know that the Chinese, you know how we say there's a face on the moon? Well, the Chinese say there's a rabbit on the moon.
There's a rabbit on the moon?
Yeah, they look at the moon and they see the shape of a rabbit rather than seeing a face. They don't see the man in the moon.
Interesting.
That's cool.
It almost seems easier to show massive ones on the internet than little ones.
It does. I like your bigs. Go
Like
big,
your
go
bigs.
large and in charge.
Yay. Yeah, I've been feeling like the need to go big's been like really pushing at me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think last week when I went, I really wanted to be going big, but because there's limited time and space, and so I just went for my normal ones, and I felt like everything I drew was like wrong and wasn't working. I decided to suck it up and go big.
Suck it up and go big. That's a shirt.
That definitely is a shirt. Somebody's got to get on that one.
Yeah. You know, wouldn't it be amazing if someone, probably this guy, actually every time he just said, that's a shirt, if he actually went and made a shirt of it.
And then was wearing it.
Yeah, might sell some shirts if I actually made some shirts. Gibbo is my sailfin Plecostomus, my Gibiceps Cusva, who lives in the big tank behind me. I'm fairly certain he's the reason why it's not perpetually covered with algae. Because, for example, my 3-foot tank that sits over here that also gets exposed to a lot of sun, it gets a bit more algae in it because the rivulatus pick on the bristlenose when they come out to eat algae.
Yeah.
And I lost my bloody algae scraper. A blade somewhere floating around here that I've misplaced, and I don't know where it is. And then when we were at an aquarium shop in Brisbane yesterday, they wanted like $31 for a scraper with a handle. It's like, yeah, I'll go home and look on eBay or Amazon, thanks.
Yeah, I've always noticed that like sometimes is the real issue with like trying to support some of the locals, you know, when it's like you want to support the local shops, but it's like, God, it's so much more expensive.
Yeah, yeah. At least be some level of competitive. But I understand overheads and all that. G'day, BDA and Natural Aquariums. How are we? But yeah, for a trip to Brisbane, all I came home with was these guys. I think Eheim may possibly be the only filter that has unique suction cup attachments for its filters.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, what was it? $9. $9 for 4 tiny little bits of plastic.
Right.
And then they wanted
Yep.
$15, $14.95 to be precise, for 4 Eheim suction cups.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to the kid, I'm pretty sure I've got a box full of suction caps that I can save myself $15 on there.
Yeah.
Even if I've got to steal them out of heater boxes, because I've got a stack of spare heaters in the cupboard.
Spare parts.
And gave some of the heaters away the other day too, just to try and give myself a wee bit more cupboard space.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't gain me much though, maybe an inch or two.
Speaking of eBay, I found something pretty fun the other night. Fucking meme stickers.
Oh yeah.
A pack of 50 for $6. Or just random like meme template like Doge and Peep the Frog and all this stuff in a package, and I'm gonna keep some of them for myself and give away the more friendlier types to a friend's kid, and the rest are gonna get plastered all over Mullumbimby.
Nice.
So the internet will be brought to our town. There's no escaping memes. You will see them everywhere. When you open the post box,
No escape.
I want the interaction, like in the where we have post boxes to open the handle and put bigger items in. stick stuff in there. So when people live,
that's a good idea.
they get the surprise. So it's not out in the open. I stuck
forever in
one.
there.
I stuck one down in Berry in 2012, and every year I go back to Berry and open the post box and still see my sticker.
Nice.
And it's awesome having my tag. I reckon I could sneak tags all over Australia and then start putting a crown and say nationwide Z-beam.
No horses, but he's going to play with the steer instead.
Good dog.
A cow. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Or impaled on a horn.
Yeah.
Look out!
Pretty ridiculous with his horns.
Really?
He's the most annoying cow. He wrecked the fence the other week, and he keeps pulling my shit down off the shed out the back. I think he's ADHD cow or something. And yeah, he goes to all this effort, cranes his neck up as high as he can into the orange tree to eat leaves. So the other day I went out and I pruned off all of the low branches and left them on the ground for them. But no, they didn't even touch the branches on the ground, covered in leaves. They've got to pull the ones out of the tree. Just a pest. He's a pest. But he's okay. He's just a cow with no balls. A steer.
Sarah, have you seen the pens ads on Facebook or whatever where you draw a line and it does the coloured outline and the metallic inside?
Oh yeah.
I want to get some. They look fucking awesome.
They look so fun, eh?
Yeah.
I've got I got like some jelly roll gel pens.
Yeah,
For my son, and they have some that do that. They have like a gold and a silver.
In the one tip.
Well, no, like some. So they've got all different colors. Like so, they've got like red, orange, yellow, green, blue.
Yeah.
Purple and stuff, each with the silver and with the gold.
Oh, nice.
But I like the look of the ones that are a bit fatter because they're like a really fine line.
Yeah.
Whereas you can get the ones that are nice and fat.
Yeah.
You just want to sit there and watch them all day. Just
yeah. They look mesmerizing. It looks so much fun. Got to get some.
Yeah, they look like fun. Just can't shake the throat today.
Has everybody caught up on the Bad Batch yet?
You betcha. You betcha, sweet Bippy.
My sweet Bippy. Oh.
Yeah.
Bippy. Brappy.
Am I showing my age? Don't people say that anymore?
I've never heard that word before. Bippy.
Never heard that.
No.
Maybe
You're on your own.
Maybe I just dreamed it one day and I've committed it to law. But yeah, not a terrible episode at all this week on the Bad Batch, and good segue too. Thank you, by the way. I've got to remember what happened. Oh, that's right. We went hunting for a tactical droid.
Right.
And we met possibly, if you haven't seen the Clone Wars Series 7, we re-met the Marcel sisters. Marcel?
Oh, that's
Anyway,
right. Yeah.
Potentially two of the most vanilla characters in the Star Wars universe. But, it was kind of good to see them back. They certainly have their place in the galaxy, and potentially the reason why they're quite adored is because when they came along in the Clone Wars was like a really heavy emotional time in the Clone Wars. So I think because people were really loving on the Clone Wars at the time, that sort of love went across to Rafa and Trace. I think it's Martel. Is it Martel? sisters anyway. Martez, thank you. Yeah, so there's they are, what do you call it? They polarize the fans because they're the kind of characters that people either love or hate. But I think, like I said, because they came along at a really intense, awesome time in the Clone Wars, they might just stick, you know? We might see a bit more of them.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but
Bad Batch.
I went away on a trip for a month and didn't have access to Disney, so yeah, I got to catch up on this stuff. Sorry, guys. So
You know,
Oh,
that.
man.
Disney has an app, you know. You can watch
Yeah,
it on
I
your
couldn't
telephone.
access it in the motel rooms, internet.
Right.
Could do Chromecasting. Some of them had Netflix, but no Disney apps, unfortunately. But I will endeavor to catch up. Is it good, guys?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
So far, it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I have a strange feeling that they might be leading us to a few awkward moments where, you know, they're making some things seemingly like, no, maybe it's deliberate that they're making the viewer think certain things where it's heading directly, and then they're going to throw a spanner in the loop and change what people expect, because it just seems a little bit too obvious. Like, say, the Wrecker thing with his head. You know, we all assume that he's going to snap and he's going to kill the first Jedi he sees or something like that, but potentially something else will be the cause of his headaches and pain other than just the chip. No,
Well, it sounds like the chip is starting to overpower. He's basically getting Order 66 is getting, you know what I mean? It's getting into his head now.
Yeah.
Because he got hit on the head again, and then he started doing the.
I think he takes at least 2 head knocks each episode, it seems, at the moment.
It seems to be the case. Seems to be getting hit in the head a lot, and you know, like his whole thing is that he could get hit in the head a lot, but now not so much.
Yeah. Even though Rancor, the juvenile Rancor in last week's episode seemed to hit him in the head quite a few times without,
and it didn't bother him.
Yeah,
So,
without too much hassle. But he walks under a low hanging bridge and bumps his head on a bolt that's sticking out or something, and
he practically dies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's like the whole like the chip is overriding and like messing with him. You know.
Yeah.
Good
soldiers follow orders.
Yeah, he's doing that whole thing, and I don't know. It seems to me that that's going to be the whole story arc with what's going on with him, basically. I'm not sure where they're going to go with it. Like, I know that some people are pretty strongly theorizing that he's going to end up dying, and then Crosshair is going to come back, but.
It's definitely something worth considering, because all of the information that I've heard is that Bad Batch is only scheduled for 1 season. They don't have a renewal as yet. So they've got to, realistically, they've got to tie a fairly heavy storyline up in, 16 episodes, I think this series is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But then they've potentially still got to leave a little bit of leeway for just in case it gets started again, you know?
Well, I think with like pretty much anything Star Wars at this point, like I don't even think it really matters how they necessarily end any of the seasons, whether or not they're going to pick it up or not for another year, you know, or another season. I don't think that is I mean, I think obviously it's like a consideration, you know what I mean? but I don't think it's the same style of consideration that I think we're used to. Of like, well, this needs to be booked for 4 seasons, otherwise they're not going to do anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's how it
G'day,
was in the
Scotty.
past. It's like, oh, we get locked in for a 5-season deal. Whereas like now, I think nowadays it's just like, if they get a script and it's good, then they'll make it. Basically kind of deal. And it seems pretty clear. Like if Dave Filoni's involved, like they'll make it at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Like that seems to be the big tie-in of like, hey, if Dave could be involved, then they'll do everything that he could possibly handle. I think.
Well, there's sort of that school of thought out there that the Bad Batch is basically just Clone Wars season 8, so that they can go beyond Order 66 and all that. But realistically, unless they all get killed off in the last episode, it is a group that has potential to get around and do more things. So yeah, I tend to agree with BJ Palmer that they will do a season 2, but potentially also it's in their best interests to keep that information, close to their chest and not actually tell people that there's more coming, so that they build that suspense for the viewers of is it going to end forever, or will we get more in 12 months time?
So, how many more episodes are there, Jude? Do you guys know?
I think that was episode 6, right?
That was episode 7, I believe. And
7.
we're doing 16 for the season, so 9 to come. Yeah.
Okay.
I may be wrong.
Yeah.
I have a strange feeling it was 7, though.
Cool.
I mean, you could be right. Yeah.
It's
You're
pretty
probably right.
rare. It's pretty rare that I'm accurate.
Out here in rarefied air.
Oh, g'day, Stillinger. Haven't seen Stillinger
Well,
for a long
I mean,
time. And Scary Terry. G'day, guys. Welcome.
Hello.
I think there's plenty of season left for stuff to happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, haven't we? We've gone 2 episodes without seeing Crosshair and the Empire and Tarkin.
Yeah, we don't know what. We don't really know what he's up to at this point. I do know that last time there was a check-in with Crosshair, it was pretty ominously bad.
Yeah, last time we saw him, he was like he'd just been reprogrammed or something, and he was getting up out of the machine or some shit, wasn't he? G'day, Joel G.
Joe.
I think that was the last time we saw him, when he'd just been laying in that science bed, and he got up and went on to do stuff. But we didn't see what stuff he went on to do. But yeah, I predict that the drama with Wrecker's Head is going to be something to do with Crosshair as well. I think they're going to have a big stoush. But yeah, I have no evidence or stuff to back that up with, just a theory. Not even a theory, just a vibe. Scary Terry says he leased a mission to kill civilians. Who did?
Crosshairs.
How did he lease it? As in,
What was that?
I'm confused by Scary Terry's message. Oh, leaded, or just led.
Led.
Oh yeah, he led
That's
that
right.
mission and executed civilians. I mean, it's pretty clear, like whatever's going on with Crosshair, they're basically trying to say that he clearly has given in to the his whatever you call it, the conditioning chip or whatever it's called. I can't remember. What's it called? I can't remember. It's the chip in their head.
I'm completely flummoxed as well. What they call
Yeah,
it.
I can't remember. But anyhow, there's a chip in their head that controls them, and that's why they all go kookaloo and shoot the Jedi and stuff and all that. Order 66, like that's how they implement it. I can't remember the name of it. The inhibitor chip. There you go.
Inhibitor chip. Well done.
And so the theory behind that is that that's what made the clones go really inferior. Was that like because they used the inhibitor chip for, to take out the Jedi, it basically like frazzled their brains a little bit.
Once they
like
executed Order 66.
Right, and like the regular clones, like it like they were all kind of dumb, not very unique ish. But the regular ones, not all the specific little groups of the ones that have done well, but they're all just kind of the normie. The normies all just went kind of dunce mode after that.
Yeah, right.
Because they didn't have a whole lot. They didn't have a whole lot to give up, and once you activate that part of the inhibitor chip, it sort of just makes their brain less work. Work less. Sort of how I'm talking right now. You know what I mean? But, like, so that's supposed to be like a part of the arc, from what I understand. Of like, that's why the that's why like later on when it's like Luke and Han and everybody, like they still have stormtroopers, but they have like regular stormtroopers. But any of the clone stormtroopers that may or may not be around, we're all just kind of going into full on dum-dums, couldn't shoot straight anymore and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. Which
is why they ended up with like Steve and Bob and whatnot from whatever planet. They're just like, hey, you want a job? We're like, well, I don't have a job. I could get a job. I could do that.
Food and board.
Yeah,
just got to kill stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
but I think like they're
also,
I think they're trying to. I think they're using Crosshair as the sort of like, he was sort of the smooth tempered, because he's super chill sniper, fairly aloof and intelligent or whatever. But like even so you sort of have the two ends of the spectrum, because you have Wrecker, who's just like Wrecker, who's the tough kind of dummy, right? And it's affecting him. And then like Crosshair's the sort of non-emotional, aloof sniper, and it's affecting him. So you get like both ends of the emotional spectrum that the inhibitor chip just is messing with everybody's brain. Because then I think like later on in the season, when they like start to figure out like what it did to the clones, what it did to the clone troopers, right? Of like, why anybody would be motivated to get rid of them, is that just like, well, when you have the chip in their head, there's a huge liability there, and that kind of stuff. I think there'll be some kind of storyline like that. I think realistically.
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to say before. That kind of plays to Tarkin's angle, that he wants normal, real people in stormtrooper suits and not these clones, and potentially he knows that there's going to be some some shit that goes on based on these dodgy inhibitor chips that have done their job now, but they're also toileting the clones' brains potentially.
Right. Well, I think that there'll probably be something to the storyline where he does something to make it even worse, Yeah. And then of course they'll have to save either Wrecker or Crosshair, one or the other. But like, I don't know if there's really like, is there a redemption arc for Crosshair at this point, when he's been just like executing civilians and stuff? You're kind of like,
and his own team, because he killed that one guy in his own squad.
Right.
But yeah, potentially I think all avenues for his redemption may have gone out the door when he was in that science bed getting extra reprogrammed and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys versed in the knowledge of Soviet, what are they called, commissar in the army?
No.
They would shoot deserters, anyone who tried to get away from the front line.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They just pop a pistol shot in their head. No, it was particularly brutal in the Red Army. You know,
Right.
the
Well, yeah.
proletariat conscripts, and if anyone failed to do their duty, the commissar would just be there and go blat and see you later.
Yeah.
To
If we're
steal
not
the
one,
nerves of
you'll
everyone
get-
else. Yeah, tell them to knock you out. So maybe I haven't watched The Bad Batch, but maybe that Crosshairs character is they're trying to channel some of that real world experience of
Yeah, right. And
You know.
I've also confirmed that we was just episode 6 just gone by at the moment.
okay.
Oh, it was okay.
Episode 7 will be Friday night.
I could have sworn it was
awesome.
episode 6.
That means I get an extra episode.
Yeah. Indeed. That's always good.
Swiss Aquatics.
You know what? I'm not sure.
Hello, Swiss Aquatics, or
I don't think it's out of the
95
realm
the
of
name
possibility
lady.
that it might have something to do with historical lines. But I haven't gotten the vibe that they'd be specifically specifically targeting that arc or whatever in that manner. Like I don't think that they're really addressing that from what I've seen so far. Now it might be possible to draw a strong parallel as time goes on. Like it might, but I haven't gotten that vibe personally.
Right.
Like to tie back to the Red Army and whatnot.
I think for stormtroopers, they'd be drawing straws from anything possible to make them as understandable or recognizable.
Well, the
as
Bad
being-
Batch definitely makes, because they are clone troopers,
Yeah.
but they really do have like humanized, how any of the anybody could be related, or how any like regular person could relate to the clones,
Right.
because you're like, oh wow, even the regular clones have some kind of personality in some kind of individual personality. Like this whole season is basically like explaining how the clones would make any sense, basically.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you'd just be like, I don't know how any of these clones would even get along to be able to do anything, because it's just the
they're all the
mental
same
strain
humans.
of being like, oh, you're surrounded by thousands of yourself and you're
Yeah.
all like the same, and so you're supposed to be intelligent and whatnot. But I think this whole season is really explaining that, like, even the underling, like most non-essential clone basically ended up with something of their own personality, right? Like they all start out the same and a lot of them look exactly the same and whatnot, but like, explaining like why some of them have different haircuts and like why some of them have different armor, and like, well, hey, why are these guys wearing red and why do those guys have gold, and like, why do these guys have a jetpack, and like all that kind of stuff. Because I think up until like the Bad Batch, or maybe it hits on that in the Clone Wars, and I just don't, I'm not recognizing it or whatever. But I think that's really like what this season is all about, is like really relating that, like, these clones were all just like not robots, like they're not robots that were there, and this really was, no matter how you look at it, like a huge atrocity, just to show you like just how
Variable.
well, just how dark like the dark side really is. You know what I mean? Just to like really explain like just how completely
lengths they'll
evil they
go
were,
to.
because it's like with the Clone Wars and the drone wars and all that, like the drone army, like who cares? You just shot a bunch of robots and they're all idiots anyhow, so whatever. And then it's
Roger,
like, well, the
roger.
clones died. That's just a bunch of robots. And it's like, oh,
Roger,
well, they just
roger.
had these armies fight, But I think
Gungans versus droids. That was ridiculous. Hey, I've got to ask you, Michael, Dr. Black, do you reckon the animation is did it better, or is the Bad Batch better than the animation?
From the Clone Wars,
Yeah.
I have a strange feeling that they're using pretty much the same level of animation from season 7 of the Clone Wars with the Bad Batch. I don't think they've necessarily changed anything.
So the Bad Batch is animated, is it?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's
I haven't
basically
seen it.
like I say, it's basically season 8 of the Clone Wars.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Because
we
the
talked-
Clone Wars are over and Order 66 has been carried out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've had to rename it to make it more appropriate.
Well, I've got a lot
to
of catching
continue
up
the
to do
storyline.
because I only watch sporadically of the Clone Wars series. So fuck yeah, I've got a mountain to get through.
If you've got to catch up on the Clone Wars, what I recommend is going back to the very original movie length episode.
Yep, I saw that at the cinema. Yeah.
Oh, if you've already seen that, then just go straight to halfway through season 5 and try and catch yourself up from there, because 5, 6, and 7, amazing storylines. Even though the Martez sisters were in season 7, they still performed their part.
Nice.
They helped Ahsoka get out of her dodgy patch, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
I'm going to go and wrestle a crocodile real quick, but yeah, it's animated and it's great, and definitely everyone should have at least watched all 7 seasons of the Clone Wars twice by now.
Twice.
At least. I said at least.
At least twice. Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm on about my 7th time through.
Wow.
I
That's
did
a lot
the
of stuff.
if you go into your Disney Plus and you go, there's a line of recommended viewing of the Clone Wars, and it says essential Clone Wars episodes or something like that. So you click on one of the episodes, but then instead of taking you to the next episode in their essential Clone Wars episodes, it just runs through the normal series. So I didn't quite realize it was doing that, and I ended up watching a hell of a lot of Clone Wars episodes again. And yeah, then I got to the end of season 5, and at the end of season 5, I don't care what kind of human you are, I had all of this water coming out of my eyes and rolling down my cheeks. And then it was like, I have to watch all of season 6 and season 7 now.
Are you getting paid by Disney Plus yet, guys?
No, not yet. They can't afford us.
Priceless advice.
Anyway, I've really got to go and sort out this crocodile. Back in a sec.
Hey, wait, I've got a new complaint. I'm forever in debt to your priceless advice.
Forever?
In debt.
Forever in debt?
To your priceless advice.
Well, it's one of those things.
It's a
good
Nirvana
song.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, I know that song.
Yeah.
I was never really a big fan of Nirvana.
Yeah, me neither.
They're from around here, and they just weren't like they weren't the best. Well, the Cobain couple were not the greatest.
No,
around.
no,
and
way,
the music was like so. It's the complete opposite of complicated, and I've had so many arguments with like music theory guys and all sorts of people. Like Nirvana was genius. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Yep. So was Jackson Pollock. In his own
great
right,
analogy. That's fantastic. I love that. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, Jackson Pollock was a genius also, but I mean, I've seen a couple of his paintings, and yep, and I've always kind of argued against the magnitude of the genius that was Nirvana. Just never. I mean, I like it's catchy tunes or whatever, but this was never like, wow, I really need to hear that. Kind of bad. But I know that song.
Time and a place, man. It was good back friends loved it too much, and that turned me off it.
Well, I mean, I've heard it so many. I've heard Nirvana songs like so many times, and there's never really anything in there that surprises me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
There's no like, oh wow, I heard this on a really fancy stereo, and there's like all these little intricate parts I didn't hear before or something. It's always just like, yeah, that's that same.
Yeah, it does not exist.
That same thing. And you know what? Maybe if they had been around for the last 20 years, maybe my maybe my opinion would be different. Maybe they would have evolved into something amazing, because it's clear that Dave Grohl is a musical genius.
Yeah.
And that maybe he would have definitely influenced some evolution or something, or maybe nothing, or maybe it would have just been like a lame heroin music forever. I don't know. And we all would have been depressed over it or something. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. You know how it is.
Yeah. But speaking of artists, I've seen Eve Klein's exhibition when it toured to Australia in my youth, and some of his pieces, just the pure massive canvas of Eve Klein blue. I could stare at that thing for hours. It was just amazing. This is all about texture and thickness and just the pure chemistry of making that very particular blue color. Gorgeous. So gorgeous.
I have
and plus he painted titties and got women to roll around on canvas. That's pretty cool.
Definitely helpful.
Yeah.
It brings a positive element that I think we're all looking to experience.
Yeah, that's what you want to see when you're a young art student, is goofy old men painting voluptuous titties with paint and getting women to roll around on canvases. Yes, fantastic. And La Bouche, like the old Bush is a great brush.
G'day, Sombra. How are you, Toddy?
Sombra.
Who else did I miss? I saw Stephen P came back.
You killed that a knife. Oh.
Yeah, I went to wrestle my crocodile, and outside my crocodile room window, I heard my pond pump sucking air.
Uh-oh. I hate that.
Yeah, I've got like my top layer of the filter has about probably 4 or 5 sheets of the polyester Duna stuffy stuff. And it's quite clogged up now. So the top one, which is supposed to remain empty and just let all the water flow through, is continually getting clogged up now. So when it fills up and overflows, the overflow does not go down to the bathtub. So I may have to drill a hole and create an overflow so that the water stays in the bathtub instead of all over the grind.
Oh, it's happening.
Quick fix. Get to it.
Or I could always pull out the clogged up bloody polyester and replace it with some new stuff. But I've got all these established plants and stuff in the top one now that I'm loath to remove them.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, it's always kind of funny when you got like plants and stuff like that growing in the poly, and you're like, yeah, I'm not messing with this. I like it.
I mean, even though the what have I got, 3 or 4 different types of plants that are up there are just basically weeds. But it's like, they'll start again within a week, but it's like, but they've come this far. So yeah, it's I think I have to invoke the realist in myself and just actually rip this shit out and start again. Make some spider plant or ribbon plant and some pothos and some rotala, rotundiflora, and something else. I can't remember what the other thing is. All weeds, you know.
Ooh, the emotional roller coaster, or whether or not you want a pond or not. It is an emotional roller coaster. I don't look forward to the digging. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I went with a bathtub.
Right.
The last time I dug a pond, I got in trouble for it.
Oh, you did?
I've probably told this story before, but I was in a rental property in Brisbane going back, crikey, probably nearly 20 years now. And, you know, we thought we were going to be there for a little while. So I decided to dig a massive hole in the backyard and turn it into a pond. And I had African cichlids, I had convict cichlids, I had bristlenose, I had so many different types of fish in there. It was great. But then when I moved out and I had to pull everything out, fill the hole back in, which I didn't, you know, all the soil, obviously, when you dig a hole and you put all of that soil back into the hole, it rarely fills the hole for some reason.
That's right.
There's some kind of mysterious science around that fact. So I was jamming palm fronds and pruning branches off trees just to have other material to shove into the hole. And then I found out I got blacklisted with a particular real estate agent because they didn't like the massive hole that I left in the backyard.
No, not at all. I can imagine.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the last pond I dug, and ever since then I've used bathtubs and other things instead.
Yeah.
Alien World Aquatics, I will make a video of my lazy river that backs on my property, and I will send it to Blacky, and Blacky can upload it because I have exactly that, a river on the edge of my property, and a giant pond that's now a sedgy swamp because my wife decided she was going to line it with plastic liner, and it never got to evaporate and just die off and kill everything in the dry seasons when the drought was on. And now it's just this disgusting, sedgy, thick, anaerobic swamp.
G'day, Gaffer. Yeah, well, I was feeling, because I want to do the tank behind me. I want to get back into our local creek stock and some plants in the tank behind me. So I was thinking about rolling around to your place one day and just chucking my my net trap thing into your creek and see what I pull up.
Good luck. It's pretty dead. The drought hammered it, so there's very few plants. Like we almost need a
it's not the plants I'm interested in. It's
no, even the fish.
Crustacean life.
God, there's barely any life at all. It's a dead zone. Because
now, can I just interrupt for a second and say, have we gone past midnight in Maryland, USA?
Yes.
Then
It's
indeed,
9:01.
I concur with the Lucky Seahorse. Hello, Paige. Welcome.
Oh, hey.
Alien World Aquatics has now just turned 23. It's his birthday right now.
Oh,
congratulations. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Scotty. I did send him a link, but he said something about being too in a different world or something to be able to live stream. But, you know, hopefully I've talked him into popping up for a minute. Danny Kenny. How are you, Kenny? Welcome.
Oh, it's Ken. What's going on?
So, yeah, happy birthday, Scotty. Many happy returns. And many more to come. 38. What a load of bullshit. I was probably closer with 23. As if you're 38. Got the face of a 17-year-old, as if you're 38. I'll need a Xeroxed copy of your birth certificate sent to my email address before I actually believe that you're 38, Scotty. Impossible.
Credit card details would work too.
The what?
Credit card details.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
And
We're not
don't
scammers.
forget
We're
that-
just jokers.
Don't forget that little 3-digit number on the back.
Oh, yes. Need that. Yes.
Many happy
It's a
returns, Gaffer, I believe, means, like, back in the day when the phrase was coined, I think that people weren't necessarily expected to last another 12 months. So I think they're encouraging that the return of that birth date again, that you see it again.
It's actually about solar rotations. The
Really?
Earth is in the same position around the sun when you were born, the day you were born, every time your birthday comes along. So it's a solar return.
Right. Yeah, that sounds deeper and more thorough than my interpretation.
Not
A little bit more spiritual.
Well, there's a lot of pessimism and lack of awareness about how ancient cultures were quite smart. A lot of the modern medicos and intellectuals of university degrees consider the ancient world to be quite dumb, but they're mistaken. People in the old world really did know their shit.
I believe Sombra is saying hi to you with that
Aw.
comment.
Hi.
Long time. We were in Brisbane yesterday, Sombra.
Hmm.
But I thought you'd be working, so I didn't worry about dragging you away from work. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, it's Scott's birthday.
Happy birthday.
He turns 25 today. He's trying to tell me he turns 38, but nah, he's lying. He's got to be lying.
I'll be turning 38 on this day next week.
Wow.
Is your birthday on Wednesday?
It is on Wednesday. How lucky is that?
Wild.
Woden's Day. Nice.
Mm.
What are you going to do, Sarah? You got a party planned?
I'm going to go to drawing.
Yeah. What's happening after drawing?
That's all I've got planned
Okay.
so far. We did have a very brief conversation about going up to Brizzy on the following weekend,
Okay.
but I don't know that that's going to work.
It won't because Weiss has got other plans.
Well, if you've got nothing planned on the following day, maybe I could clear my dance floor in our house and we can have a bit of a dancey dance party at our house.
Yeah, why not?
All the lights and sounds and the music, we'll make some videos. That'll be fun.
And just for those uninformed, Beast actually does have a dance floor and a DJ and laser set up in his living room.
He's got the full-on laser show.
Oh yeah,
I'm in the living room now, but I've got a big house. You see, it's very big for two people. Here's the here we go. The speakers and the DJ gear. My dragons.
You're just out there partying.
Yeah, we've got workstation at the moment for the jewelry business. So yeah, we've got to clear that out.
And when the lights are out and the smoke machine goes on,
Oh yeah, the smoke machine.
yeah, that smoke machine, the mouth smoke machine with the laser stuff, that looks fantastic.
Looks awesome. Yeah.
Especially when you've got a belly full of mushrooms.
Yes, indeed.
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Shit.
You know, portobello's, mushroom pizza, as we do. Yeah.
We had a nice carbonara that night with extra mushrooms.
Yes. Oh. Well,
Actually,
guys.
it was pizzas.
Yeah, it was pizzas. I've got to bail. I've got to bail on that note, guys. Lovely to be a part of this stream, and thanks for having us again.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for hanging out, dude.
Yeah, take it easy, guys. See you, Joel.
See you later.
Nice chatting with you all. See you, Sarah. See you, Michael.
Be good out there.
Pardon me.
You pardoned. Right, bye.
See ya.
The Beast is not up on the Bad Batch. He didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. But that's all right.
Oh,
I think we danced around the subject matter enough that we didn't really I don't think we spoiled too much the way we spoke about it today.
yeah. Well, you know,
G'day,
I
Alyssa
guess
Bentley.
spoiler alert, right? After the fact.
Ah, yeah, you know, I think like we didn't reveal any of the major outcomes of stuff. We just spoke about what was happening. So
It's true.
I think we really did, even though it may have been completely unintentional. We sort of danced around outcomes well.
That's right.
It could be a new thing. How to review movies and television without dramatic spoilers. I think we
Yeah.
just achieved the first one ever.
Well, I don't know if we can keep it up.
Well, like we always say, you know, we give you 5 days to watch the shit.
Right.
You know, it's not our fault.
Yeah, it's not my
What
fault
have
you
you
haven't
been
watched it.
doing for 96 hours or whatever it is?
You've had all these hours to fit it in, and it was only 20 minutes long. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was another thing, too. It was quite a short episode this week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the week before too. That was the thing.
Hmm.
I mentioned that before. Is like it's much more satisfying to have something that's realistically, 40 minutes long, 45 minutes long. I mean, 35. Okay, but like this whole like, I think the total runtime was 22 minutes, and I think that included the credits and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'm gonna be honest. Like, it kind of screws up that being the show I want to watch on Friday. You know what I mean? Because it's just not honestly enough time to have like watched a story and then be like, all right, I mean, that's still in the YouTube video length, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I guess
don't-
like maybe they're making it in the format so that they could play it on like regular TV at some point in time or something. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be in Disney's designs, but
I don't know. I
potentially
mean,
it's
I don't
in
know why
ours.
else it would be 22 minutes long, because
Yeah.
that's traditional standard TV
Potentially,
format. Because once you add the commercial breaks to it, it's 30 minutes,
yeah.
So,
Potentially, it's just they're really focused on just getting the story told without too much superfluous stuff going on, and it
I
just
don't know. I feel like
coincidentally ended up
I
right
feel like
on.
there's a lot of superfluous stuff going on with it only being 22 minutes long, too, though.
Yeah, right. Fair enough. I
And
did
it's like,
notice.
because it's like, well, where are you going with this Omega character? Because, like, obviously she's pivotal, right? But
Hmm.
she's a kid and she's not in any of the other lore, right? Because, Order 66 just happened, right? So, like, there's no real mention of like Omega doing anything really between now and Skywalker, basically. You know what I mean? Like, maybe a bunch of stuff happens that we don't know about, and maybe it's like really exciting, but still, Vader.
Now, I noticed a correlation having finished watching the Clone Wars again. I went on to Revenge of the Sith, and then Solo. I'm halfway through Solo again. I know you love Solo. You've got a lot of rave reviews posted on your Discord saying how much you love Solo movie. In episode 3,
I hate the Solo movie.
in Revenge of the Sith, there was a scene where there was a tactical droid on a conveyor belt in virtually the same position as the one we see that the what did we call them? Mendez sisters.
Right.
Martez. The
Martez.
Martez sisters and our Bad Batch, the tactical droid on the conveyor belt. There's one in exactly the same position in episode 3, but unfortunately, I think that one's on Mustafar. But these guys in this episode aren't on Mustafar, are they?
Right.
But yeah, I'm not sure if they wanted us to think that it was the same tactical droid that would just happen to be in Revenge of the Sith, or what. But it was very, very very similar looking. It's the exact same way it was laying on the conveyor belt with its head and its body. All right, Gaffer, thanks for doing that, man, and thanks for hanging out for a bit. Appreciate your presence, Gaffer. So yeah, I found that an interesting thing, that it was almost identically positioned on the conveyor belt as the one in episode 3 that we just happened to see in a brief shot. So yeah, where were they? They were on Corellia, weren't they? That's where they were retrieving the tactical droid from.
Right. Well, I mean,
and that
I
fleet
don't know.
of Millennium
I mean,
Falcons.
we almost always I think we almost always end up with the problem that all these stories are intersecting, and they want to weave them together to fill in the blanks on stuff. Which, I mean, it makes sense, but if there's never a point where you fast travel or just go to a completely different part of this whole universe that they're in, it's kind of well, it's all for naught, because the whole story surrounds around stuff that's going to happen in the future, right? So there's always that kind of lingering problem of well, Darth Vader basically just got made, so now we have at least 20 years of terror, right? Where Darth Vader's just at full power, going bonkers and kind of just taking over the universe, right?
Yeah. Have you read the Darth Vader comics?
I've read some of them, but they're just, I mean, they were kind of over the top a little bit.
Yes. I think they're brilliant insight into the story, the telling of Vader's story.
Yeah.
The level of shit that he had to go through to get where he is. Righto, Toto, thanks for hanging out, bro. We'll see you soon.
I mean, it's true, but also at the same point,
hang on one sec. Todd, we were arranging with Weesey yesterday that we'll come up and hang out at Weesey's house one weekend soon. So I'll keep you posted with that, and we'll get you there as well, bro. See you soon. Righto, sorry, keep going, Corby.
But so you got to think in A New Hope, right? Vader is sort of cast as he's sort of the old guard, right? His whole character is sort of well, we don't we don't worry about magic, whatever, wizard man, kind of deal. Yeah. But it's only been 20 years. I mean, by the timeline, he's 38, 40, maybe.
Yeah, give or take, sure.
Give or take. What's the deal here? Because when they unmask Vader, right? He's old. Oh, I've lived so long as Vader. I just wanted to see my boy's face. But it's yeah, but it's only been 20 years, dude. You should be in the prime of your career here. You know what I mean? You should be in the prime. And not to mention the other, everyone else that uses the Force lives for hundreds of years, right? I mean, Yoda's 700 years old.
900 and something when he dies.
Yeah, something crazy like that, right?
Spoiler alert, Yoda dies.
Spoiler alert, guys. Sorry if you haven't seen it.
But I mean, what one thing to consider with that fact is that you look at Palpatine, and he certainly becomes a very, very aged looking individual. I mean, granted, he's probably 1,000 years old or something. We don't really know,
Right.
but
Yeah, he's he's super old.
the seemingly the getting involved in the dark side certainly has impacts on your aging and whatnot.
True,
Because
but
in the the prequel movies, he was maybe a 40 or 50-year-old looking man that was looking young and stuff, but was he using the dark side to conceal his appearance?
well, that's the thing. Like he was, well, Palpatine was supposedly super old, right? But
Yeah,
like
at least like 200 years old or something, because
something
in the
like that.
time
Yeah, I mean, like
of
he's
dark
much
ages,
older than you're supposed to live for a human.
as a general human being.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the time when he was Darth Plagueis's apprentice was like 200 years or so before the prequel movies.
right.
So he's certainly been around for a long time and has some tricks up his sleeve about longevity of life, etc.
Right, but I'm saying that like there's always this like looming storyline situation, right? That like Vader is in power now, right? He's basically just became or he's becoming Vader right now, and it's like 20 years or so. Maybe I don't know, maybe Luke's 22. I don't know, whatever. But he's certainly not 30.
No,
Right? He's supposed to be like a young man. Like he's supposed to be like maybe 18 or maybe, you know what I mean? Like he's supposed to be pretty young.
yeah, I reckon by the time Revenge of the Sith comes around, I reckon Anakin would have been early 20s at the oldest.
Well, I'm saying Luke.
Oh, Luke, you're talking.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so Anakin right now, when he becomes Vader, right? Like he's not very old. Like, right? Like he's like 18 or something, maybe 20. Luke is like maybe 18, maybe 17. I don't know. But that would mean that like Vader is like between 35 and 40 years old when he dies on the Death Star, right?
Yeah.
Because it certainly has not been like an extra 20 years to be like, oh, now he's 60. He's like, which is not very old, as we know in the real world. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, by today's standards.
But he's like, but in A
60
New
to the
Hope,
new 40.
but in A New Hope, he's like the old wizard guy. Like everyone that's around is sort of like, oh, well, there's Vader. Like he's kind of a big deal, but whatevs, bro. Like, but apparently he's been like raining death upon the universe or the whatever the galaxy that they live in, and yet it's like like,
Well, that's I
like,
think
oh,
that's
that's
where
that guy from like last year. I mean, he blew everybody up and like cut him in half and stuff with his like light sword, and then he was like throwing around buildings with the force and stuff. But like that was last year, bro. Like now that's old news. We have memos and TPS reports with cover sheets on them. You know what I mean? Like what is going on?
I think that's where the comics come in really handy, is that they fill in a lot of those storylines and show a lot of the stuff that Vader got up to in those in between times between when he was made Vader and A New Hope. He did so much nasty, evil stuff and experienced so many things that I'm completely in the I believe why he looks like he does when when he finally succumbs in Return of the Jedi. Spoiler alert, Darth Vader dies in Return of the Jedi. So does Yoda.
Yeah,
Hope we
spoiler
haven't
alert.
ruined Star Wars for you.
Spoiler alert, guys. But I'm just saying that, like, from from my brain to my mouth to explain like where my head's at is like we've got maybe a 20-year period here, right? That between where the Bad Batch is right now, which Luke is a baby, right? Correct? Or am I incorrect?
Yeah. Oh no, sorry. I was reading S's comments about. I'm assuming he's talking Palpatine's age, and I was trying to do the maths in my head, but S
makes him 120 at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm fairly certain that Palpatine, with his involvement with Plagueis, happened a lot earlier than that. But if it's on Wikipedia, it's probably more accurate than my memory.
Right.
I suppose we'll find out in the Acolyte series, because I'm pretty sure that Darth Plagueis is going to show up in that. That's about the time frame that we're looking at.
So, but my point is that like there's only like a 20-year period here. And then in A New Hope,
creation to A New Hope, you mean?
Right. Yeah. And then in A New Hope, he's sort of just referred to as just like the old guard, like, yeah, there's that weird Vader guy, but hey, we've got paperwork here we got to follow. We've got, hey man, an email came in and it's marked urgent, guys. Okay. So we really got to stick with what the email says here, guys. We need to follow what the email says, and we're gonna go. We're gonna
follow Proto.
We're gonna catch that Princess Leia. Wah, 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 like. So I'm just saying that like it's a very short period of time to go from. Young Vader gets his arms and legs cut off. He gets put in the suit, and then now he goes on all those trials and tribulations. He's got to go make his lightsaber.
Gets his arms and legs cut off again.
Yeah, and then he gets his arms and legs cut off again, and he can't make his lightsaber, and then he steals a lightsaber. It's all crazy. So, but that's like a 20-year period, but it's at least like I would say like 5 years of transition time from being Anakin, getting his arms and legs cut off, to then becoming full-blown Vader, right? I mean, that seems like a bit of a time period of like flying over here, flying over there, crazy stuff happening. And then Vader basically reaches his like apex power potential, right? And then goes on like a Vader rampage for a while, which by all accounts seems to at least be some amounts of years, right? But then by the time like New Hope rolls around, he's sort of just like, I don't know if anybody else has caught this vibe, but he's legit just referred to like by the elderly generals that are there that just like, whatever, Vader. And then he like force chokes the one guy, right?
Yeah, because
and then everyone's like,
oh, wizardry and whatnot.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, whoa, maybe the magic is real. And it's like, what? This dude has been terrorizing like all of these planets, accumulating all of this crazy power. There's Star Destroyers everywhere. There's ships everywhere. There's troops everywhere. They've been recruiting. They've been training stormtroopers to do all this stuff, right? Like, and that hasn't been very long. Like here's a good example. So the Beast earlier was saying the words to a Nirvana song that came out in like 1993, right? That's longer ago than this time period of when Order 66 happened to when A New Hope is happening, right? And it would be like me telling you, hey man, do you remember CDs? And you'd be like, CDs, that's like I don't know, man. That's like, I don't know. I heard about that this one time, but like,
Yeah, I read
How
about
could-
it in a magazine this
like,
once.
like I heard somebody talk about like wizard discs that played music, I don't know.
That certainly raises an interesting point that after Order 66 was executed, I believe that the Empire stifled any communication about the Jedi Order. So it didn't take very long before the existence of
Right.
Jedi
So
disappeared.
the Jedi, yes. Okay. I fully understand that they went around and like burned all the stuff and got rid of all the evidence and all that stuff. But Vader is a prominent like Hitler character. I don't know what do you want to call him? Like, I mean, he's a genocidal maniac that runs this intergalactic army that is clearly training their soldiers to just shoot civilians and stuff if they don't give you the information, right? Like,
Yeah, but I don't think his dastardliness was promoted as being Sith or being Force related or anything. I think he was just this bastard that was going around the joint and beating everyone.
okay.
I don't think it was correlated.
If I said Saddam Hussein, right? Like you would know who Saddam Hussein was, right?
Who? Yeah, of course.
Okay. He was promoted like falsely to have weapons of mass destruction and didn't even have them, right? Now that war, the invasion, more so aptly put,
Yeah.
was more years ago than Order 66 is from A New Hope is apart, right? And Saddam Hussein didn't even have a lightsaber or ships that blew up planets or troops that came down in ships from space and just killed everybody. Like,
So
you get what I'm saying? That like even if he didn't,
what you're saying is that
even if he didn't go around force choking every single person and lightsabering them all in half, right?
they should all know that he's a force wielding
They
wizard.
would all know that he's at very least the guy in charge of all of this stuff, right? Like, well, every once in a while, like a whole bunch of tanks come in here and just blow everyone away. Well, the guy who tells them to do that is the dude in the black outfit. Like, you would at the very least know that, right? Like, just like maybe you're a moisture farmer and you don't know that, right? Like where you are with your moisture farm. But if you were around any type of city,
Google News to be seen.
yeah. But if you were around any type of city, there would be guys in the white uniform with the rifles going around and questioning people and shoving people around and robbing them and doing what else, Lord knows what else they were doing. And that really would have only been like to the average person like last week or maybe 3 years ago or something. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't have. Do you know what? Do you get what I'm saying?
I think the way I think they actually do it quite. I might contradict what the vibe you're trying to present here, but when we're in episode 4, they clearly, they remember things and they know stuff, because I think the guy that he chokes on the Death Star or the Star Destroyer, wherever they are, and he's talking about your old wizardry ways or whatever,
right?
It still seems to exist in their memories that there's mad force uses out there. But when we get to the most recent 3 movies, which is another 30 years later or something,
right?
Then the disbelief of such a thing and no one knows about the Jedi, that seems to make more sense there. But in episode 4, it seems that they definitely still remember a thing, but it's been long enough that people are now
right.
But
like as you said, if you've read the Darth Vader comic books, like he never withheld like exposing his powers or his lightsaber or any of that. Like he never was like shooting people with a gun or anything. He was going around like maniacally murdering whenever he felt like it, you know, like there's no restraint with the dark side. You don't like, oh, I need to really, really hide myself around all these peons. Like, no, you
Yeah,
just
I
go
don't think
bonkers
he's-
and act crazy. Like it doesn't matter. What are they gonna do?
he certainly had absolutely no interest in hiding his powers or his affiliation with the Force.
He's
But I
literally
think-
wearing a giant, like, I'm the evil guy outfit. Like, it's not like he's wearing a snappy suit and tie and being like, hey, don't worry about me, guys. I'm your buddy. You know,
I
like he's not
think-
wearing a disguise.
I think the vibe they wanted to convey by the guy that he choked out.
Okay, S is saying, well, dead people can't talk because supposedly Darth Vader went around and killed everybody all the time. Okay, I will remind you, he didn't kill all of the soldiers that flew his ships around and stuff. Like those guys were all around, right? Or did he just kill everyone and then just fly away in space with no ship? Because it's profoundly important in the Star Wars realm to have a ship to go anywhere. Nobody ever flies around in space with just using their powers. Right,
wafting around on a bucket.
Yeah, so I'm like, this is my point, is that like if you had a giant army, they would know at the very least that you go down to planets and leave no one alive, right? Like unless they're just like, yeah, we got a giant Star Destroyer here, guys, with like we got LiDAR, we got radar, we got discs all over this thing, we got instruments to let you know if there's a life form on a ship that's just jettisoned. Because like they established that they at least have the telemetrics to like know if there's a life form on an escape pod, because that is in the movie. No life forms, 2 droids on the escape pod, poof, goes flying out. Oh, don't worry about it. It's just 2 droids. We're looking for the princess, right? Like these things exist, and the more you fill this space of this 20 years, right? The more you fill this space with action-packed crazy stuff, character development, things that need to be, right? And people, by the way, that will exist for that whole period of time, suddenly all of the original movies make no sense. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think I think what granted, probably not when A New Hope was originally made, but to potentially weave it into the current storyline, the current tropage, that dude on the Death Star getting choked out, I think he was or part of the original movement where potentially the Force wasn't necessarily winning so many battles, or Vader might have been a bit inactive. So he was one of the initiators of this movement against the wizardry and stuff. And he might have been a bold first human who decided to speak out and say, it's just fucking magic and nonsense.
Okay, yeah, I want you to go back and look how old that guy is, by the way.
Which one?
The guy who gets force choked, because
But it's
Hold
like,
on.
It's like that in those first ones where, I noticed that all of the people are kind of a little bit more elderly than what they'd choose in a modern movie to play those roles, because it was a different time. And so men of power were, of a certain age and all of that sort of thing, I think.
Yeah, the 70s. I mean, a 40-year-old in the 70s looked like a 60-year-old nowadays. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm telling you, that guy is at least 40 years old.
Yeah. So
that guy's at minimum 40 years old, right?
And if he's joined the Empire, then he would have been certainly privy
20?
to that information for at least 20 years or so.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like you're what I'm saying is, like, what these guys are messing with is like they're starting to run into their own storyline. Like they're gonna just back right up and rear end their car in front of them because they're busy texting in the freeway, right?
Well,
into their own storyline to making no sense, right? Like it's just it's
raises
going
a
to
good
make no
point
sense.
as well. S's point about that Vader's soldiers he had were assigned to him, and he had a specific unit within the Empire. So potentially, all of their activities may have been secretive and not necessarily known to the rest of the Empire.
Okay.
So he might have been off
have you
doing
people
poorly.
have you guys never been around soldiers before? Like all soldiers do all day is sit around and gossip. They have nothing to do. Okay? Like even if you had a unit that like, well, these are specifically only the troops that hang around Vader. Well, like why in A New Hope is he just on a Star Destroyer then? Like telling people what to do? Like do they not know him there? Because it seems pretty clear that he's just like, yeah, I'm Vader and I'm just telling people what to do, and they're accepting that I'm allowed to talk to them and whatnot. So like they obviously know he's some sort of official powered guy, but if they had been around him, right, they would have known, like at the very least, oh yeah, he just murders everybody because it's in the comic books, right? So if there was one soldier on that ship that has been around Vader at all, they would be like, yeah, dude, Vader cut everybody's head off, dude. It was nuts, bro. Like they're just sitting around all day.
Back
They have
at
nothing
the
to do.
cantina.
Yeah, they'd just be back there, like, you know, hammering down some whatever space whiskey or whatever and talking about how Vader cut everybody's head off and then he made them float around and they flew away into the pond or whatever Vader does. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that no one would know, but you literally are getting to a point where you're starting to fill up a gap that is supposed to be some kind of everyone in the universe has just completely forgotten that there was you know wizards with swords and stuff with lightsabers, and you're like, yeah, but that guy was 20 and now he's 40. You know, like how would he have forgotten? It's like, well, I went around and you know I erased every single person's memory, and you're like, how many people alone are building the Death Star right now? Like. Like
I guess
a million people.
It's a problem that comes with when you create a story that you think is going to be a standalone film, and then it turns into 3 movies, and then it turns into 9 movies, and then it turns into all of these other storylines that if you've got to make them all work together, there's going to be some gaps and spaces.
Well, I mean, yeah. But I'm like, here's the point, is that like those people are at least as smart as I am, right? Like
one would hope so.
You gotta recognize like you're running into your own cash cow. You're literally just like you're crashing your Ford Pinto and it's gonna explode and catch on fire. Oh, I'm burping. I had Mexican food. Oh, sorry, Scungy. I was burping there. I didn't mean to. It just came out of nowhere. I gotta drink some water. I might have heartburn. Mexican food's tough. I put a lot of hot sauce on it. Yeah, Bottom Dwellers has a good point there. How many people does it take to keep the Death Star just running, let alone building the damn thing? But like just running. And how does nobody in the Empire seem to even know who Vader is? Like just from the standpoint of like if the soldiers were telling stories about who Vader was, which they would, there doesn't seem to be any evidence in this galaxy that like soldiers are somehow wildly different. And they might have been wildly different if they continued to be clones, but they aren't. By the time A New Hope comes around, they're all supposedly conscripted soldiers, which means they're just average people off of planets. And the Bad Batch has shown that those soldiers are just average people off of planets. And they're just like, yeah, I don't know, man. We don't kill civilians. We already did the thing we were supposed to do. We killed all the other soldiers, and now we're just going to leave, right? And they're like, no, we have to kill them, So I don't know. Maybe they went around and put an inhibitor chip in every single person's brain and made them all dumb. I don't know. Is that a thing? Are they going to write that in?
Well, I mean, let's consider the fact that potentially 20th century media has done the same thing to the human race. Dumbed us all down a little bit.
To what point?
To make us more malleable.
Yeah, but what has it dumbed us down? Like, what have we forgotten?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just trying to be silly, and now you're asking me to justify it.
Well, yeah,
Gosh,
exactly.
I can't justify such a comment. I think that's always been the media's goal, hasn't it? To dumb us all down so we're malleable pieces of meat.
Well, to a degree, I think. Yeah. All right, buddy. I got to get up at 3:30, so I got to go.
Righto, let's call it then. Let's break this popsicle stand down to a non-existent entity until next week.
That's right. I want you to think about the time continuity between now and A New Hope, and like why it's so disconnected. Because they're, like I said, they're filling in all of these gaps from Order 66 up into A New Hope, and it's going to really make everything that happened in the first trilogy make no sense.
So does that put it in a perfect position to then redo those first three movies so that they are as true to the original story as possible while still changing enough to fit in to feel more?
That could open up a can of worms, couldn't it? Because I mean, worse movies have been remade.
I think it would be really interesting. It's always scary because
I think
lots of remakes just destroy things.
Yeah, I think the unfortunate part is that, let's say approximately 60% of the Star Wars fans came into their Star Wars fandom because of either Star Wars A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. And potentially changing those to fit the existing canon perfectly may curl up a few people's toes.
But still,
I think it would. I think it would.
Should be still like some of the ones who are very interested to see a modern, all of the things that we can do cinematically applied to those favorite movies. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if they were to do it, it'd just be an update of special effects and whatnot, which has already been done in 1999.
Right.
Potentially, I really don't see any of the storylines and stuff changing. They'll just probably continue to tinker with the storylines in the comic books and animated series to try and make them all gel.
Even if they don't change like the whole storyline, maybe just some of the, if some of the attitudes and some of the things are just slightly different to fitting where the story's still pretty the same.
But just fiddle a couple of lines of dialogue here and there and stuff. Yeah, it's potential.
I suppose so.
All right,
they better not remake them. That's all I'm saying. It would just be terrifically stupid. It would be terrifically dumb, I think, personally. But that's just me. What do I know?
What do we all know? We all know nothing.
All know. That's right. All right, buddy. I'll see you next week. Scungy.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All that stuff.
Oh, hit the wrong button.
All right, everyone. We're going to follow Corvus's lead and also depart because I think we've broken people's earlobes enough for this day. 2.5 hours. And remember those who have been here since minute one. Casval, I think you were here. And I said, highly unlikely that we'll go more than 2 hours today. And here we are, 2.5 hours in. God damn, I've got to stop saying Yeah, no, I'm only going to do an hour stream today because every time I say I'm only going to go an hour, it's generally 3 or 4 hours, sometimes 6. Zen Ginger, long time no see. What a shame you weren't here for all of the exciting arguments and conversations earlier. And the nudity. There was so much nudity, Zen Ginger. You would have enjoyed the nudity. That was my favourite part. Was that your favourite part of the episode, was the nudity?
Always is.
The nudity. I think the nudity is generally most people's favourite part of the show. And the swearing. You know, the swearing's a subtle second to the nudity. You don't like the swearing?
It's just not very sparkly, you know.
Not as sparkly as nude bits flopping about all over the place.
Correcto.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we'll call it quits there. Swing on by next week for more nudity and swear words and probably some Star Wars chat, maybe some fish chat. I mean, we even spoke about substrate today. I was pretty impressed with that we spoke of substrate. Oh yeah, belching. I'm actually think I only burped once, maybe twice this whole stream. Have you got a count, Patty?
Corvus did one for you. So.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Was that when I was elsewhere? Because I don't remember him burping. So that's good. Maybe three burps this stream. Might be a record low. I wish I had like diehard fans who'd go back and calculate how many belches were each episode and who did them and whatnot. That was a little one, but I didn't really make a burp noise, did it? Yeah, back to my, hang on, I'll put my lumberjack hat back on and get back out to the lumberjacking. Right, you mob, thanks heaps for hanging out. Those who've been here from the start, you're bloody legends. Anyone who's watching the replay and has made it this far, you're obviously a special kind of human being. Fishymon, driving home and lurking, just as we're saying goodbye. But good to see you, Fishymon, nonetheless. Always good, always good. Breno as well came in a wee bit late. Don't forget... generally on Wednesdays my time, not long after my stream, that Aquamate does a premiere, so keep your eyes on his channel, and occasionally on Wednesdays as well. Aquaz does his Wednesday whoopsies, which are quite funny videos, so check them out if you're not subscribed. I don't know what Breno does on a Wednesday. Probably just gets naked and runs around his backyard, I imagine. That's what I'd do if I was him. He's got a decent sized backyard and tall fences, so he could get away with running around naked. Let us know, Breno, if you run around naked in your backyard. But until next week, or, maybe before. There goes Gibbo. I saw Gibbo over there doing his stuff. We'll see yous when we's looking at yous. Righto, take it easy, everyone.